Hello and welcome to this session on JMeter beginner tutorial, and today we are going to go very basic and step by step, and we will learn how to create our first JMeter test. So we will learn how to create a test plan, how to create thread group or users, how to add samplers, listeners and assertions, and then finally we will run and validate. So let's get started, and step number one is we will start our JMeter. So I will go to my Windows and I have this JMeter running. So in the earlier session we have already seen how to download and start JMeter on Windows and on Mac operating systems. So in case you have not seen that, you can watch that, and you can start your JMeter. So my JMeter is up and running here, and step number two will be we have to create a test plan. So in JMeter, test plan is the very first element that you will create while creating any test. And when you open your JMeter or start your JMeter, test plan is already created. And you can also click on this button, new, to create a test plan. You can also go to file and click on new to create the test plan. So our test plan is now created. So step number three will be we will add thread group to our test plan, or we can also say these are the users. So what I'm going to do is I will go to my test plan, do a right click, go to add, and then go to thread users and add a thread group. So I will click here, and here we have got our thread group, and this is the element in JMeter where we can actually give the number of users or the number of threads to put load on our application. So here on this particular element, the very first field is name. You can give any name, and when you change the name here, you can see this does not change here on the tree. So you can click anywhere outside, and then you can see it changes the name here as well. So I have given the name. This section is action to be taken when there is any error, whether it should continue, start next level, next thread loop, stop thread, stop test, or stop test now. All this we will see in more details in the coming session. And now here is the important section of thread properties. So here you can give the number of threads or the users that will run your test simultaneously. You can give the ramp up period. So for example, if I say 20 seconds as the ramp up period and I have given 10 users, so that means 10 users will be added in 20 seconds, and that means every user will be added every 2 seconds. One user will be added every 2 seconds. Okay, and then we have this field for loop count. Now here you can give the number of iterations that this test will run for, or you can also click on forever. So if you click on forever, it will run forever until you forcefully stop it. And then we have these options: delay thread creation until needed, scheduler to schedule this test. This we will see in more details in the coming session. So for now I will just keep it very basic. I will keep single users and ramp up as 1 second. So we have added our thread group, and now we will add our sampler request. So step number 4 is add sampler, or I should say sampler request. And here in JMeter we add samplers for creating our multiple requests. So I will do a right click on the thread group. I will go to add sampler, and here you can see different types of requests. So in JMeter we can do a test on different applications. So let me again do a right click, go to add sampler, and here are different type of applications that we can test with JMeter. So for now I will go with a simple HTTP request. So our HTTP request editor is here, and here uh, we can give our web application request server or URL here. So what I'm going to do is I will do a very simple test on a web page or a web application. So I'll go to my browser and go to lifecharger.org. So this is my blog, and I will just copy the URL from here, the homepage URL. Go to my JMeter, and in this field server name or IP, I will just give this URL. Now you need not give the protocol, which is HTTP or HTTPS, that will come here in the protocol field. And in case it is HTTP, you need not give it, and in case it is HTTPS, you can mention it here like this. But for now I'm not giving it because it is HTTP in my case. And then you can give the URL here, homepage URL. And then if you are going to some other path or other page, for example, if I go to uh, this particular page, best way to do it, so this is the path, so I will copy it from here, and then again I can go to my JMeter and paste it here. Okay, and in case you have a port number, you can give it here. And then of course body data, files upload parameters you can give in case you want, and I will have a separate session for this. And if you go to the advanced tab, then you have other options like connect timeout. So in case I say connect timeout is 5000 milliseconds, that means 5 seconds. So in case the request does not connect to the server within 5 seconds, it will time out. So you can give all these here. We will look into more details in the coming session, but for now I have created a very simple test here. And now step number 5 is, now if you see here, we have created our request and we can also run it now, but how will I see the results? So for that we have to add listeners. So listeners are the components in JMeter where you can see the results and metrics of the request, and you can also add assertions to validate your responses. So I will do a right click. Now I can do a right click within this request itself, and I can also do here at the thread group level, go to add, and here you can go to listeners. Okay, and again there are a lot of listeners, different types of listeners. In this session I'm going to add a very simple view results tree listener. And then again I want to add a assertion, so I will again do a right click on thread group, go to add, and go to assertions, and you can again see different types of assertions are there. Let me just go back again to assertions, and in this session I will just add a very simple response assertion. So here in this editor for response assertion, I am saying apply to main sample only, and field to test is response code. So I'm going to validate response code should match, and I will just add a pattern to test, and I will say here 200. So 200 is the status code for a successful HTTP request. So I'm just validating that, and I will just make it up and view results tree at the bottom. Now what I should have done, or I could have done, is I could have added both of these response assertion and view results tree inside HTTP request, so that will, in case I have multiple requests, I can add the assertions within a single request. But for now I just have a single request, so I have added it everything at a thread group level, so that should be fine. And now I should be able to run this. So step number 6 is run and validate. So I have multiple options to run it. I can go to file, or I can go to run and click on start, and or I can also right click on the thread group, and here I can say start, or there is a direct button here to start the test plan. So I will go to view results tree and click on this start button. It is asking me to save. If you want to save, it will be saved as a JMX file. So .jmx is the extension for a JMeter test script, and for now I'm just clicking no, and let us see. So you can see we are getting the results here, and everything is green. That means everything is running properly and passing. In case there is anything red, it will show in red. And you can see it is running continuously and not stopping because we have selected loop forever in our thread group. So to stop it now, I have these two options. I can either press stop or shut down. Now the difference is, if I press stop, it will be stopped forcefully, but if I press shut down, it will stop gracefully and gradually after exiting the current running thread. So I will click on shut down. So you can see it is shutting down the current thread, and then it will shut down or stop. So I can look at any of the request and you can see this is the sampler result, this is the request, and this is the response data. And if you go to the thread group, you can see we had selected loop count forever. That was the reason it was running forever. And now we have got our results as well. Okay, so now we have ran and validated our test plan. So these are the very basic 6 steps that you can use to create your first JMeter test in JMeter. I will meet you in the next session. Thank you for watching.